Hey guys, it's Smashley. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. And if it's your first time, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I am just about done decorating for Thanksgiving/Harvest this year. And for today's video, I thought it would be really cool to repurpose some of the older decor items that I had to match our new theme instead of making everything from scratch like the last video. So this one's a little bit easier. But we're gonna be making a boho chic floral yarn pumpkin. I'm not sure, I'm working on the title. We're gonna fix one of our cornucopias and a DIY napkin ring. For Thanksgiving this year, given the times, we're gonna be having a very small, intimate dinner with just some friends, and I thought it'd be really cute if we created this beautiful tablescape just to kind of give it a little bit more pizzazz. I have done full-blown Friendsgiving events and Thanksgiving events in the past, and one of the things that I love about putting together those types of events is the tablescape. I die. I live, breathe, and die for tablescapes. I'm gonna show you guys today at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around, a quick time lapse of how I put everything together. So we're gonna use the pieces that we make from today's video, plus the pieces from the last video. And if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna link it up here above. You should watch that one first and then come back. Do that. But without further ado, we will get started. First up is going to be our boho chic pumpkin. That's the title of this thing, and I'm sticking to it. So, interesting story about this pumpkin. I picked it up at Michael's. This was one of those, I'm not sure if I want to use it yet, but I'm gonna buy it and then figure it out later. I bought about 4 of them, and I was able to return 3. Was never planning on keeping this, and then rain happened. I wasn't gonna return this to the store. I didn't really have a use for it in Halloween decor stuff, so I figured I would just hold on to it and see if I could do something on the harvest side. And these are the pumpkins that I made at the last video. So these are kind of like that boho vibe. You guys kind of saw the same process that we did to hot glue the fabric onto these pumpkins. I thought would be really cool to do to this pumpkin as well, except using this ribbon yarn. I found this at Joann Fabrics. Let me know in the comment section below. Have you guys seen this before? Because I was fascinated that they made flat yarn like this. And I loved it because this is about, I want to say, maybe twice the thickness as the other materials and ribbons that I was using. So that means less time gluing down. And it's a lot thicker, so I didn't have to go and spray paint this pumpkin. So I'm gonna leave this as is. I'm gonna be removing the top now that rain has helped us with that. And the goal is gonna be to kind of glue everything to the top, but leaving the center piece a little bit open, maybe like a little bit of a rim, because I'm also going to be taking some of these florals that I have back here and I'm going to hot glue them to the top. I'm not quite sure what I want to do for arrangement of flowers, so I have the other bouquet that we did also in the last video is inspo, because I think I want to put that on the table. The yarn itself was only about, I want to say it was under 10 bucks. I had a coupon at Joann Fabrics. I just picked this up the other night. And it's in the color, oh, milk. It's in the color milk. And we're going to measure. I think I'm gonna put this part at the bottom because this is kind of rough looking. So we'll start at the bottom. I'm just gonna measure to the top, or the top-ish, with leaving that little bit of margin. I'm gonna cut just a couple pieces so that while I have the glue in my hand, we can kind of lay down a few at a time. I learned from the last video that kind of helped things go a little faster. I will say not all the pieces were exactly the same size, because at least on those I was doing a little bit of like a diagonal pattern. I'm not sure how this one's gonna end up, but we'll see. Starting at the bottom, you're just gonna glue one strip kind of almost to the top, but save yourself some room. I figured when gluing down the flowers, they probably stick better to the pumpkin itself than with the yarn on top. And for the top part, I would add a little bit of extra glue to the top. You want to make sure that that part's completely secured down. We are going to cover the top with flowers, but we don't want anything kind of poking through. So I'm just going to add my extra glue. So our pumpkin is completely covered, and here is how she's looking. I kind of went with that same like diagonal pattern as our other pumpkins to kind of just bring in some cohesion. But again, for this one, we left the top kind of exposed just so that, I'm not sure if I want to stick some flowers in because this is foam, and then maybe glue some around, but I do have all of the florals in front of me that I picked out from the bunch back here, and I think I know what direction we want to go. So really, you guys, when you guys are making this at home, the next step is to just cut up the flowers, and however you choose to stick them in here or glue them on here, it's going to be completely up to you. I'm going to be doing, I think, a mixture of both cutting and pushing some in, so we'll get going. I picked up these beautiful florals. I'm obsessed with these. These are so pretty. The tag was probably in there. Try that again. But I picked these all up at Joann Fabrics for the most part. They're already moved on to Christmas like most people are. But I really like to give Harvest its time to shine, and I don't start decorating for Harvest until November. I think I might have told you guys this before, but obviously I'm big on Halloween. And I just like to make sure all the seasons have their time to shine, man. I'm big on decorating, obviously DIY decor and things like that, so it's really fun for me. Let's cut some of these flowers down. These I actually got from the Dollar Tree. You guys know I've been doing that series, so anytime I see like cute little things I think I can work with, I'm definitely picking them up for my stash. Like these. These seem pretty. I think I can work with that. All right, you guys, we finished wrapping her. We finished with all the flowers, and here is how she looks. I love it, and just so you guys can kind of get a visual, this is more so the vibe that we're going for. So you can kind of see we're going with like boho chic, kind of those tones. So let's put these aside. The next thing that we're going to work on is our cornucopia. So as you guys can tell, my cornucopia actually still has flowers in it from last year, and these are super cute, but again, we want everything to kind of go with our theme. So I'm just gonna remove these guys. This actually came as one bouquet, and I will save that for later. And to just take a look at the piece itself, I want to, like, the little wicker cornucopia is such a great staple Harvest item. The only thing that you would have to do for it to match for your theme is to switch out the flowers, really. So I picked up this piece of foam. I'm probably going to cut this down to size, and we're going to stick it on the inside, and that's what we're going to use to kind of stick all of our flowers. I, again, haven't really decided. I have obviously some options back here that I will definitely pull from, but let's get this all cut up and set up and we'll see what we end up with. Foam is all cut. I just kind of cut it on a little bit of an angle so it just fits the smaller part back here. And all I want to do is start off with my main flower. So the main one that I'm using, and again, this has been pretty much a theme throughout all of the florals for us this year. I got these at Dollar Tree and I'm obsessed. But they're total boho chic, so I want to stick these in first just because I know that I want this to be the main focal point. Everything else around it is going to serve as like a filler. And anytime I do my floral arrangements, if you guys can't tell by now, I am super big on texture, color, variety. I love all of those things, so that's what we're going to be going for. And she's done. For the last project of the video, we're going to be making our DIY napkin rings. And yes, I know what you're thinking, more wooden beads. I actually ran out because I've been using them so often, and I got this bag of 400 from Joann Fabrics, so I'll be sure to link it for you guys below. Aside from the beads, what you will need is just a piece of floral wire. I picked up, I want to say this one at either Walmart or Dollar Tree, one of the two. But to give you guys an idea, these are the napkin rings we're going to be making. They're adorable, totally in theme for me, and I love them. And they're also super easy to make. So the reason I went with the floral wire, because I did try a few different prototypes. I kind of like the way that the wire holds the shape, and I think that's what's going to work best. And I went with a thinner wire so that this will be easier to hide the end parts, so you guys will see what I'm talking about. So the way that I measured them out is I did about 10 beads per napkin ring, and that seemed to be about big enough to get the napkin through for me. So here is how we should look. You want to take your two loose end pieces here, you guys can see that, and we're gonna tie them around one another one time, and then you wanna tug on them so we can tie them tight. So kind of see how that shape we're going for. Now, because this is wire, of course, we wanna just keep twisting those two pieces in opposite directions. That's gonna help us just tighten it and keep the shape and all the beads in place and nothing will fall out. I kind of go around 2 or 3 times, and then I kind of put them both sticking straight up. So it looks something like that, like antennas. And just grab a pair of scissors and we're gonna cut off the tops because we're gonna use, I have just these little floral wires. I'm gonna take the tips and kind of fold them flat opposite of one another. And that's gonna get tucked away on the inside of the bead so that green floral wire is not exposed. And then you can kind of start molding it into your little circle. So to hide it even more, I decided to add the little tassel on the opposite end so that we can kind of push the beads together. And again, you guys have seen me make tassels many times before on the channel, so this is nothing new. I just made a little bitty mini version. And I'm just gonna do a lark's head knot opposite to where we just close the floral wire and pull this through. Super simple, super easy, super cheap, but also super beautiful. Now all that's left is to put this all together. So I'll take you guys with me to my dining room. Well, you guys, that's all I have for today's video and most of my Thanksgiving harvest boho chic decor. Let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys think the tablescape turned out? And also, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish? As always, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys in the next one.